Yep. Welcome to this episode of Street Smart here on Traffic TV. Of course, you're watching Traffic TV where you're going to find everything about traffic. Hey, if you have a suggestion, a subject that you think is a little bit something that you don't understand too clearly, WhatsApp us at 774-3470. Send us a message on our Facebook page, and we will definitely get that cleared up for you. Now, we just want you to know that Traffic TV is a collaboration between the Royal Police Force of Antigua and Barbuda and More Sports and Events Antigua. And we are partnered by State Insurance Company Limited and Orakle Street. Of course, they put you to live in a better state of mind. And Signs and Impressions, the quick print people, also on Orakle Street. So for all your printing needs, check Signs and Impressions. Don't worry about insurance. State got something for you. So this afternoon, we're going to look on a few things that persons ask about. First off, something that happened in really, it's how do I say, trending. Yeah. Now, what we have seen coming up is these tail lights. When you tap on the brake or on the brake pedal, the tail lights blink. That is something that it wasn't around over the past years. It's something relatively new, and yeah, normally we would have the concern with, well, both of them end up surfacing recently, a few months ago, where you're having persons with blinking headlights or blinking tail lights. Now, I'm going to deal with the blinking tail lights. For now, the blinking tail lights, we here at Traffic TV are not aware of any regulation or law to prohibit the usage thereof. It is seen as an indication of warning the person behind you that you're applying brakes. So there is no law that we are aware of that prohibits that for the flashing tail lights, right? Now, the flashing headlights, that's a different story altogether. Only emergency vehicles use flashing lights. So you are not allowed to have flashing headlights. You're not an emergency vehicle. All right? No, you're not. You're not an emergency vehicle. You're not allowed to have flashing headlights. It's not part of your vehicle. So you have to get that rectified and ensure that your headlights is correct. Also bear in mind that your headlights should be one of such that can go or be adjusted to dim and bright. So fog lights are not headlights. So if you think you're going to drive at nights with your fog light on, and because it provides enough light, you're okay? No, that is not deemed to be a headlight, and you will be ticketed, of course, for using that. So right there you have it. I'll just touch on a little thing different, what they call additional lights or swiveling lights on your vehicle. You see persons decorate their vehicle and put all kind of lights on it, what they call pimping your ride. Hey, these things are prohibited. We also see persons putting HD lights, floodlights on the roof, or in the grill, extreme bright lights and that kind of stuff. Those are prohibited. It's called, well, we in layman we call them additional lights. And regulation 17 of the vehicle, I want to make sure that I get everything correct for you. All right. Yeah. Of the Vehicle and Road Traffic Enforcement and Administrative Order of 1995, or what we call the Vehicle, Road and Traffic Regulation, Regulation 17.4 states that it's an offense to carry spotlights or other swiveling lights on a motor vehicle without the authority of the licensing officer. So here you have it, Regulation 17.4, and there's a fixed penalty, which is a ticketable offense of $100. So for those who were looking for that aspect of it, yes, we do have that in Regulation 17, where we make reference to additional lights for on your vehicle, right? So we have that right there. Okay, we're gonna move right along. We're gonna look at, yeah, somebody sent in something and they wanted me to touch on it in reference to loud music and being played in vehicles. Loud music. Okay. What happens with loud music? I always advise persons to play their music for themselves. Play your music to soothe yourself and not to really, not to disturb other people. Everybody is deserving of their peace, and we would want to keep it that way. So in reference to that, which is having loud music, we're also aware that a lot of persons take pride in putting big boombox in their vehicles. So yeah, you know, having loud music in your vehicle is not really a concern to us, but when it bothers other people, it becomes a concern. Yeah. Yes, it becomes a concern when it bothers other people, and it's called annoyance. So let's see what the regulations say about that. Loud music in your vehicles, that is what well, that's what was mentioned. Let me tell you what it says right there. And send us your message, send us your suggestions that we will we can address your concerns on our Facebook page. Like, follow the page, share it to your friends or whoever who may have you think need the information. Right now it's like all drivers on the road need the information, so just share that. You can also follow us on YouTube, Traffic TV 268. You follow us on YouTube, you get the videos, so you can get a quick search of what is really happening, and you can, you know, listen to the videos, especially the one in reference to the Sprugu roundabout. Yeah, there are actually two of them in that regard, so you can get that and you will try to understand how it works, and you know, yeah, you can become a better driver. So just give me a few seconds. I'm trying to locate that particular piece of regulation for you, where it makes reference to your vehicle and having loud music. So just give me one moment right here. All right, I'm right here with you now. So here's what it is. Regulation 22 of the Vehicle Road and Traffic Regulation. It reads, driving or being in charge of a motor vehicle which causes loud noise to the annoyance or disturbance of any person. Now understand the terms that are used here. To the annoyance or disturbance. So when you pass with your loud music, it bothers me, it bothers other persons, yes, you're a nuisance. Oh yeah, that's what they say. It's a source of annoyance, and it is a ticketable offense under Vehicle Regulation 22 with a fixed penalty of $100. All right, so that's what it is. Play your music loud enough for you to hear, not to disturb other persons. Yeah, okay, so that's what it says about here. The loud music, no, it's a no-no. That's illegal. You will be ticketed once you're caught. All right, so moving right along, we have a very interesting piece, something here. Is it illegal or is it wrong to overtake a police vehicle? Okay. A police vehicle. A police vehicle could, or an officially or marked police vehicle, can be deemed to be operating differently at different times on the road. Okay, so here you have a police vehicle who is going up the road, say for example, so George Walter Highway, where you have two lanes in one direction, and you're going on, and there's a police vehicle on it with or without the revolving lights, and it's driving 20 miles per hour or less. There is no issue in that. The police is doing a routine patrol, and of course, you can overtake. There's nothing wrong with that. What you don't do though is fly past the police vehicle, which would clearly, if they're operating within the speed limit, then you would be obviously exceeding it by an exorbitant amount, which could create a problem. Furthermore, in areas that have single lanes in one direction, the overtaking of the police vehicle basically is the same thing. Again, you don't want to be exceeding the speed limit by so much that it creates and it becomes a concern as to your safety where speed is concerned and other road users' safety. So here's your answer. If you see the vehicle with lights and siren, give way, clearly give way. If the vehicle is doing a normal patrol with just the revolving lights on and it's cruising like 10, 15, 20 miles per hour, and there's no issue with you passing that vehicle. All right, so that's my take here on is it illegal or wrong to overtake a police vehicle. Okay, good. So we're moving right along after this. So we're going to touch on something else right here, and it is called failing to remain stationary for as long as the officer requires, right? I don't know if persons are aware of that, but once the police officer in uniform, of course, otherwise the officer would have, if they're in plain clothes, they would have identified yourself and most likely presented you with an ID that you would see that they are who they say they are and not just bluffing you around, right? Now, we're going to look at Regulation 19, where it makes reference to a police stopping you and what happens, right? So Regulation 19, yes, that's the correct regulation. Regulation 19. Just give me 1 minute. Yeah, regulation 1914, subsection 14, regulation 19. Listen to this. This is what it says. Failing to stop a motor vehicle and to remain stationary as long as may be necessary on the road. I'll start again. Failing to stop a motor vehicle and to remain stationary as long as may be necessary on the request of a police officer in uniform or of any person having charge of a horse. Well, you know, we don't have a mounted unit, so you will not find a police officer riding a horse. So you could disregard the in charge of a horse part. But this is the important part where it says failing to stop a motor vehicle and to remain stationary. So here you are. So if the officer stops you, once they stop you, which giving you the number one stop signal, which is putting their hand up above their head with their palm facing you, that's the number one stop signal. That means you to stop. So once that happens and you stop, you should not move that vehicle again until the officer finish or give you further instructions. So if you finish do what he's doing with you, then of course he will tell you may leave, and yeah, you can leave. Once that happens, prior to he telling you he finished and you can leave, prior to that happening, anytime you move the vehicle forward or backward, that in itself constitutes an offense. And under Vehicle Regulation 1914, that is what it says. You fail to keep your vehicle, fail to remain stationary for as long as the officer requires. And that carries a fixed penalty of $150, which is a ticketable offense. And of course, he can just write it up for you again right away. And you wouldn't mind. Well, I don't think the officer would mind in doing that, but yeah, that is an offense. It's a ticketable offense, and if that happens, you will, or you can be ticketed. Most likely, you will be ticketed for that. And like I said, that's $150 for that. So, just want you to know that we're not going to be long this afternoon. We're just going to be quick and going through these few pointers. So I just want to let you know that you're watching Street Smart. And my name is Neville Nichols. I'm gonna see you next week.